we're going to make the cabin. I was concerned about wood for the top, and I was looking at the prices of that veneer stuff, 50 odd quid. And to be honest with you, I haven't got the measurements and I can't be bothered to drive up to B&Q because it's a 10-mile trip. So I found some old tongue and groove lying around, a pack of it. I think I might use that, but instead of using the decorated side, I'll turn that over and I'll just have the flat side and give it a sanding, glue it in tight, give it a good sanding, varnish it all up. The doors I'd like to sand back at some point and coat with a darker stain, but that means the trim's got to be a darker stain, so we may not go down that route as yet, I don't know. It isn't anywhere near to where I was trying to get it. I've come up with some crazy stupid ideas and I've reasserted everything, you know, reasserted myself and just basically redone it. I'm still not happy with that ladder, it's just too big and awkward. She's now had her gallstone operation, so she can climb a lot better than she did before. So the ladder may very well go, and we may very well put a standard ladder in for that very reason. She's just got a hernia operation to come. So that's where we're at. Hey, 'cause I'm kind of running out of work now, new day. I'm kind of running out of work. I just bought some more timber, very expensive. Very. Couldn't get any automotive spray for the walls, couldn't find any locally, so that's just a job I'm going to have to return to. It will get done because I'm not happy with the way it is. Also slowly clearing stuff out. I mean, if you remember, there was a big box of tools, there was a table, that's now out in the living room. We need to get in the shed and have a good clear up, and I've got to fix that shed as well, it's rotten. Right, it's another day. Well, it's the end of another day actually. Cushions, they're all mismatched. I've actually stripped the sofa down, I've cut all the material off the back, taken the cushions off. We're going to wash these ones next, and all that spare material is going to get sewn together, and we're just going to try and create some new covers. Half the reason I threw the sofa away was because of the memories of me dog jumping on them all the while, but because we've now taken them out of the house feels empty, if you see what I'm saying. I don't want to dwell too much on it, but I think we'll put them in here as once they've been cleaned up. Wow, they're quite bright for what they are. Quite pleased with them, although that one's a bit eesh. There's a bit of balance along there anyway. All well on. The centrepiece is not lit up very well, but the areas that need to be lit are lit well, so I don't know if I'm going to actually go out of my way and put massive bright lights, because I don't think they're necessary. Definitely need to do more over here. I know why they're dim, and it's because of that terminal down there. That spring idea of mine hasn't really worked. If you go on previous video, you'll see what I did. I think we're going to put a socket on that, a plug socket of some sorts. Need a bit more light under here. We've got plenty on that. Doorstep LEDs are shot, so I've got to replace that. But all in all, yeah, I have some of these LEDs left over under here, so I might use those where some of the pictures are going, maybe on this bulkhead here if I can thread the wires. I don't know if that's going to be possible because I've glued that down on both blooming sides, so I'll have to go through the cupboard, stick a picture there and put maybe 2 bulbs through there connected to that light in there. If I decide to do that, I don't know yet. Right, found some scrappy mahogany which matches that tabletop over there, which I think will work well. Unfortunately I didn't have enough to go right to the back, but we are building a little unit to go there just to put knickknacks and remotes and stuff like that in. This one is going to have a lid made of ply, possibly stained like that, possibly not, I don't know yet till we get to it, which will be tomorrow. Right, we've got to build an armrest on this side. We've got to extend that out by putting a piece of wood actually physically in the actual cushion itself, and we've got to cut those 2 cushions. There's 2 there like that one. We've got to cut them. They're old armrests from the caravan. so we've actually got to physically cut them down to bring that one across, because they're a little bit of a tight fit. Obviously we need access underneath this to get to the lockers, so putting a piece of hardboard on that one is ideal. And I may very well do it to these two as well, actually, and cut the holes out, and then the wood will sit on top. I've just been filming today, building, sorry, and I ain't done much more than that. So the holes have been cut. I've cut a big hole out there. There's a lid on it. I can now get my deck chairs and my outdoor table under there. We've cut a small hole out there. We've also built an armrest extension on the end for that, just to keep her quiet, because she's been moaning at me. The lid has been built for the cupboard over here, so I'm pretty chuffed with that. And the basic woodwork for that is on there, but we've got a lot more work to do to that. In fact, if I can find some different wood, I'll probably use it, because it hasn't gone quite to plan. This is square, it's that edge there, isn't it? So it all went wrong. So yeah, I can't do no more. That's it. That's a Friday, and that's it. I can't do nothing. Welcome back. We've tried to take a bit of time out because of the loss of our dog. It's been quite hard over the last few weeks. We got the ashes back, and to be honest, that kind of hit home at that point. But all things considered, we're good, and we're trying our hardest to continue on with this jalopy. And I call it a jalopy because I do work and it all go wrong. As you can see, that's getting worse. The wallpaper's shrinking. And then we've got the bathroom space. The seals that I put on, the rubber door seals, it's got so hot in here they fell off, and now I can't access them because I built everything up. On the positive side, our lounge area is almost built up. We've cut the holes out underneath. We've just got to get some hinges for the covers. I've got a worktop space here, but it ain't that great. I ran out of wood, that's the problem. And we've got a lid, which I've got to get some handles for, because it's a very tight lid and I can't be bothered to pull it up. But that's all in place. The projector has turned up, but that's a load of rubbish. And if I don't put that video up about the projector, we're getting a projector. And to update you on we're getting a projector, we've now got a projector, which is a pile of poo. Because the 24 volt part of it that I said it would have is inside the machine, and I've got to just open it up. No, I'm not doing that, so that may very well go back as yet. Anyway, we've got all the cupboards in. That was on one of the videos that I've deleted, I think. That one has all been built up, but I've made the hole so ruddy small that I can't really do anything with it. Got a lid on that one. We've got drawers, shelf in here. We've got, oh, somebody forgot the hoover in here, so I've got to paint all that up in there and get it to a matching white. We've got space under here for the outdoor seating and table, but we need to get some hinges for that lid. We've got rid of the sofa that was outside. That's now gone, and I've stripped off all the material, so we've just got to put those ones in the washing machine next. And then I'm gonna, with all the other covers I took off, I'm gonna start chopping them all up and making some covers for all of this lot so everything matches. The next thing to do in here, other than the ceiling, is curtain rails and blinds. We want 2 silver blinds each side, and then I shall make some curtains or alter some curtains to fit. Then we'll start turning our attentions to the kitchen area, although I may start the water system next. We've got the waste pipe in for the sink, but we haven't got the waste in for the shower yet, because I still have not flipping figured that one out. But I reckon we'll put a sailing boat sump for a shower in here, and then we've got a pump in the house that I found in a shed that I fixed, and we'll pump the water into the waste in that manner. We've got lots of trims to make, tiles to purchase, walls to finish, As you can see, that wallpaper isn't working, and we were going to duplicate that, but now we're reluctant to, and we don't exactly know what to do with it, because it means whatever we do on here, we've got to redo over here, and I really do not fancy pulling all of this off, although it's pulling itself off at the moment. There's a lot of work involved in removing everything just to redo that wall. Most of the bench is holding out, but it's just the wall is the worst of it. I laid that up over the winter months, and then I laid this up towards the beginning of the summer. For some reason that's holding and that isn't, so we might get away with just doing that wall, but we'll see where we end up with that. We've got trims to do along there, we've got lights to replace that I ripped down there, we've got lights on the steps to replace that I managed to rip. It's Tuesday, struggling to motivate. I thought today I will attempt something. Put these buggers back on would be a good thing. I've ordered 2 solar panel controllers. I was going to fit a solar controller that I had given to me by Matt up the road and a solar panel. Problem is, on my ceiling outside there's nowhere whatsoever to put it, and I thought, should I just glue the thing down to the roof? But no, I've used some very nasty, I wished I hadn't, but I had some very nasty paint that don't really completely dry. I don't even know why I put it up there. It's useless stuff. It's mainly for roofs that leak, and mine don't leak, so I didn't need to do it. But anyway, it's that fibre paint that you put on sheds. I don't know why I did it. It was a stupid move. So I thought, well, maybe I can just run some bolts underneath the panel, some long ones, put some sealant around the panel rim, and then pull it down. But now my luck, the panel will leak, and then water will get behind it, and then that will go. So no, I've got 2 solar controllers on order from China. Reluctant, but they were the only ones I could find that could power up a 48 volt solar panel, because most solar panels are what, 12 volt, 24 volt. Mine happened to be 48 volt, 250 watts, because they came off a solar farm. That's the history on them. They were cheaper than buying solar panels direct from manufacturers. They worked out at £60 each, which I thought was a good buy at the time, but never really considered the 60 volts was going to be the issue. I thought, I'll find a controller, because loads of controllers up for sale over the winter, loads. But now I've had a look, there's very few that can do up to what is it, 48 volts. Yeah, I'll get it right. So I've ordered 2 of them. Unfortunately, they only have a maximum capacity of 70 volts, so putting 2 solar panels on one won't work, because that works out at 80, so that won't work. I can't do that either, so I had to buy 2, £32 each, no, £34 each. They should be in a couple of weeks time with a bit of luck, and hopefully they'll work. As soon as those turn up, panels are going up, because my leisure batteries are not lasting very long at the moment. I keep running my stereo when I'm in here. But what I plan to do is, we've got 1 battery outside, we've got another one here. I'm going to clear all this out. I'm going to remount that diesel tank somewhere. We've got an inverter to go up over there, which is going to get plumbed in eventually to the electric system via a relay. And we'll put that battery on a tray across there, and we'll strap it down. So we'll run some wood, screw it down, and then put a strap over the top to hold the battery in place. And I am going to run both batteries, I think it is that they call it in series, where I just get a higher ampage of 12 volt. And then the other 2, because I've got 2 solar panels that I can't run at the same time, I've got underneath there is another tray. I've got 2 lorry batteries sitting in the garden. I ain't got any money for leisure batteries at the moment. So I'm going to run those. The only problem is, I believe one of these batteries is an AGM and the other is not. That could be an issue, because AGM batteries like to be charged differently from your regular, say, calcium batteries or whatever it is. It could be a problem. So yeah, that's the issue. Wednesday, put the steps back on, and I've put the cover plates back in, but they're not great. So I reckon what I'll have to do is drill a hole and put a self tap in there, just to make sure that that isn't going to fall off on me. And the other one is on as well, same routine. Unfortunately, the plastic has bent out of shape from heat over the years, I think. I could have cleaned the steps, but pointless, they only corrode up again. And one of my plans is to get more of this paint and redo that whole roof, all of it up as far as that rivet line. You can see the muck, it just isn't really working. The white is horrible, so I thought maybe we'll sand that down and put a gloss black over the whole lot, but that's a lot to paint up there. And I have cut a large hole out in that panel at the back. I want to get a toe hitch fitted, so I've just sort of rested that on there. I'm just trying to make my mind up what to do and how's best to go about it. I don't really want that steel that you can see there on show. I'd rather we just saw that bit there if we could. So yeah, and we've also got to readdress that white water pipe. It didn't work, and flipping thing has been a nightmare from start to finish. And then she's painting up the seating areas, which isn't going very well. This water-based paint is rubbish. Your opinion on it?
It's rubbish.
It's just not adhering, is it?
Nope.
I mean, you put it on thick and it just doesn't seem to want to do anything.
Up to there, there's just another coat going on.
Yeah, I know, it's not a very good paint at all. I rolled the paint over here on this door, but it took 8 coats to get that coverage with that same paint, and it's left a sticky residue as well. So I ain't happy with that at all. So I might sand all of this down and stick some white Dulux or something over the top of it, some chemical based paint. You can't beat it, it just stinks. Okay guys and girls, we've cut off the other panels because we're going to surround that with new tin, because that stuff was all warped and rubbish. The tow bar is welded on. I've put 2 uprights welded to the chassis there, going down to my underbar. Same on that side, going down. And then I think this is a Mitsubishi Shogun, possibly, I'm not 100%, tow hitch, which is then straight welded onto those 2 bars. I was going to add more steel, but my mate up the road looked at this and he was just as convinced as I was that that should be strong enough to do what it's got to do. Maximum of 3 tonne is all it's towing. I'm not planning on towing another lorry with it, so it should be good to go. But I will do some holes here and run some bolts through, just as an added precaution. I haven't done any more to it because, one, the heat is just unbearable, and secondly, I've got to get some hammerite on it. While I have access to the tank and all the other little areas that I've got issues, I'll redo that pipe under here as well, because that ain't working out. You can see that that is tragically at the wrong height. Some painting. A few more coats to go on that as yet, but that's coming together. It's a lot tidier than it was, and we've got some wooden trim to go around, and then I'll cut, as I said before, and level everything off, and then I've got to make some caps to go over that, and we should be good to go. I also have got to wire the switches in at some point, and we will deal with those wirings when we get those regulators. Before the day is over, we'll get some hammerite on that framework. Just had a bath as well, so I want to get covered, but we'll get some hammerite on it and get it tidy, and then it's a question of when I get some more money, we'll get that last piece of aluminium that we had for the slide out, and we'll get that engineered to fit. We've got to get a fold put in it and a guillotine cut, because the grinder doesn't really do it any justice, and I want that neat. But while we're worrying about all of that, we're going to tidy all that wiring up as well, because it's a mess under there. Okay, we finished off yesterday with the work that I've done. The tow hitch is painted and the bedding area has been painted up and finished, and this is the end results. Almost look brand new, doesn't it? It's all fixed in, we've just got boltings to do. I've got to put a bolt through here, and we've got to put a bolt through there on both sides. And all of that's painted up. What I want to do next with this is put some furniture polish over it, because it's still sticky. It's dry, but it's just sticky. I haven't got much of this wood left. I was hoping to get that beam in across each side, and also frame off down the bottom as well, just to tidy that up. because the wood didn't quite fit the wall as well as I'd like it to have done, but it is a piece that is supposed to come out easily. That's the plan. Morning folks, Thursday, and boy, it's cooler. Alright, I replaced that pipe last night. Anyway, the pipe was in. It's a new pipe, I've replaced it. The other one was, well, there was just too many flexible areas and I couldn't get the height right, but unfortunately I still have this too high. I don't know if there's anything else I can do about it, to be honest. If I was trying to do those threads and drop that down, yes, it would level the pipe, but it's still got to climb uphill to get out of the nozzle. I thought about turning the nozzle sideways, but because the handle, the tap itself is so large, I wouldn't be able to access it properly because it would be right here. It would be the most awkward position. So I think we're going to leave that as it is. It empties, it just does it extremely slowly when it gets to the end. I think I put in about 12 gallons of water yesterday, and the last 2 gallons were a little slow. It was trickling, but it just took forever. We have put all the sofa back together and we've washed all the covers. As you can see, they look a hell of a lot cleaner. But I'm just not mentally ready to start this yet. You know, the recovering. I've got the lids on, they're hinged, just like a conventional camper van, and well comfy. Oh, slouching down, thinking about what else I can do, because I just don't know at the moment. The problem is, and I said this to Matt, he said, there's always something to do. I said, yeah, there is, but you need money to do it. Otherwise, you're going to be doing a half-cocked job and you'll end up starting again. I've learned that one the flipping hard way. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other jobs that can be done with no money. Fortunately, my episodes I've been putting up are a little bit hit and miss on where stuff is, as I haven't indexed it properly. But if you go back on a previous episode, if I haven't already done the footage, you'll see that these were actually 2 trays. And you can see where I've cut 1 tray and added a little extra to the end. I've also reversed the mechanism, so I've cut that plate out there and I've spun it around so the mechanism's on the inside instead of the outside. That's kind of what it used to look like in a roundabout way. That is a tray that goes in the side of a fire appliance. I've cut off the steel bracings. I've now got to remove a piece of that triangular plate there, because what I want to achieve is having this mechanism move. Problem is, the hinges will be at the top, so there's nowhere for this handle, which is this one, to go. So what I want to do instead is put it sideways. But obviously that mechanism isn't going to work the way it is, but I do have the mechanism of the other locker, which is here, and I think I might be able to fab this up using, because I need the studs which go in there. So what I want to do, I ain't sure how this is going to happen at the moment, I probably have to go that way round, is we'll put that in like so. So that will fix to the steel, that will be bolted to the metal, so when you pull that side lever, that should move up, which should give me the force required to move that. And it means that the handle, once I've extended this, can be right over here. I'm hoping if I keep it as low as possible, I can get away with 1 block, guide block, or possibly 2, because I might re-drill and put a second one in there, and we can then put I don't really know how this is going to happen, but we need a set 2 guide blocks for this. We've also got to cut a hole in here somewhere, drill a big hole so the handle sticks out. Hopefully that won't affect the MOT, because that's going to be forward facing. But I don't have a lot of choice. There's no other way I can do it with the gear I've got lying around. If I had my way, and there's some 70 vehicles were kicking about, I'd probably get a door handle off a Morris Marina or a Rover SD1. something similar to that, or a Lotus if it was a Lotus in the scrapyard, which I highly doubt. But yeah, that's kind of what I would like to have on here, but it isn't going to happen. So we'll have to just make do with this simple handle that probably 6 or 7 fire crews over the years in London, which is where the fire appliances come from, has been handling. I reckon that tray will tell some stories. I did have a sticker on here of what used to be in it. I think I've melted it off. No, I haven't. There you go. That was what was in it. Anyway, I'll have a coffee break. The second half of this is done. That lever is now in. I haven't connected that one up, but that one is. So it's a bit stiff because of the blobs of weld. I've got to sort that all out. But there you go. You pull that side. That is up near the driver's cab end. Just want to add a few more springs to it. We could go insanely stupid with this if we carried on. So I've got a couple of clevises there. I had to cut into that bracket just to drop it down because it wasn't quite lining up properly. You know, they're all held in with clevises. I've got to find another clevis. There we go, I've got one. That belongs to that. So we've got to extend that rod to that unit there, that bracket. Don't ask me what they're called because I don't know. I'm sure somebody will tell me. So yeah, we've got these spare scruffy sheets. So we're going to add those. We'll put the 2 big ones each side, and then we'll put the middle one as the small one. I want to add two more blocks, or at least 1 block up there. I want to cut a bracket off here actually and weld that onto the end, just because it will be easier. I can figure it all out a bit easier than doing it other ways, and my handle's a bit bent up, so I've got to straighten that out. But yeah, pleased with this. So I've brushed it back as best as I can get it. Ideally it would have needed sandblasting, but I don't have that at hand. So we're going to paint the hammerite, the underside, which is the important one. Once we've done that, we'll turn it over, we'll paint the outside edge. It's just a means to an end at the moment. This may have to come off the truck and be sandblasted back properly, but for now, this is what I need, because I need to get more forward on the truck than what I am. So we'll get on with that first. Hey guys, mechanism is all together. I've painted the frame up, but I got a little impatient. I kind of mucked the paint up a little bit, so still a bit wet. So I'll let that dry off. I'm going to give it one more coat anyway, mainly on the inside and around these outside edges, but not that surface underneath, because I'm sticking aluminium to that. And if my memory serves, we have done the other side. This is not a very good locker. We've got no way of locking it. See, there's no way of joining it, but we've got the framework here for the pump. So what my plan is to come off this somewhere, across there and down, with a piece of angle bracket and flat and all the rest of it. I ain't figured it out yet, but we'll get there eventually. And then we can put a locking plate on the end where that pin is going to be on the other side. This side, I haven't yet figured out how we're locking this one down. Don't even know if that lock is staying at the moment, because this one I've been building has come out so good so far that I'm almost tempted to redo this on the other side. Get a couple more trays with all of these little gizmos, and then we can duplicate this side to match. Tomorrow we'll skin this as best as we can, bearing in mind there isn't a lot of centre support for the alley. The skin is on. I'm really pleased with this. Ain't often I apply myself the way I have on this. I want to get rid of that handle. I've kind of changed my mind on that. I'm going to stick one of them eyelets with the little screw thread on, so you just put your finger through and pull it. I think that's going to be a better solution for that. But yeah, everything's gone relatively well. Look, I just got to trim down there. I was going to do it with the grinder, but that leaves it untidy. And then I suddenly thought I've got a pair of snips in the shed, pneumatic ones, which will leave me a lip, which is what I need. And I've left that lip on here because I plan to put another piece of alley across to act as a guard, and then I'll fold that over the top and then rivet the other one to that surface when we've got it fitted to the truck. The front, it's just scrap alley. The last of that aluminium I bought for the slide out, the bathroom slide out, when I reskinned it. Now it's got me thinking, the way that has come out has now seriously got me thinking about getting another 2 more drawers from the yard and redoing the other side in the same sort of manner. Buy another sheet of alley in, get them to guillotine it for me, not the yard, my engineering shop I go to, get him to guillotine it for me, and I can then put that straight on. Then it's a dilemma time. Do we polish up or do we paint? I don't know yet. I'd like to polish that, but the whole truck isn't in that style, so I don't actually know if that would work. That's been very handy during this. Everyone's having barbecues and that's a nice quiet. It's good for tools, and I want to show you a tool. It's a Clark tool. Don't know the name of it, but this is what it does. Take note. That's not a very neat example. Hang on, we'll do the other side. Right, this is what it does. And one-handed, so it won't be very straight. That's literally what it does. Puts a profile on there. You can get it neater, but you need 2 hands to do it, and I'm trying to hold camera, so that's why it didn't come out as well. So that's that. Okay, hinges are on. Had to put extra bolt in because these 3 bolts go straight onto just plain alley, and I could see what was going to happen straight away. I'd bend up. There is a piece of aluminium, thick aluminium underneath that to strengthen it up a bit, so spread the load, because it goes right up to there, which is on the angle. I've sealed it so water don't get trapped behind it and start becoming a problem. We'll paint this all up at some point. That's going to get done in this stuff. Must admit I'd like to polish it, but it would look odd if I did that because nothing else is polished. I did say about the handle, we will remove that and put something else there because that sticks out too far, and I think the MOT would have something to say about that. We've got to drill a hole down there, then we've got to somehow fix that crack and then add some metal here so we can use that latch down there, and then we'll cut a piece of alley, lay that flat across so it covers this whole area here, and then we'll get a hammer and a dolly and very gently whack that over so it's sealed, that edge is sealed then, so water can't get through there and rust it out even more. Okay guys, we're all done and dusted. My leverage works and up she goes. Done a hole there. We've got the whole bracketry made here. That welding didn't go so great. The nozzle broke on me, but we're bolted onto the mudguard. I'm a little nervous about all of this, I will be honest, because that is low to the ground. I think that corner there is going to get hit with grass verges, but we'll just see how that all pans out as and when we do it. But as you can see, the mechanism is all in. So we'll lower it down. Locked. What I want to do at some point is on both of these, I want to run a bracket behind to stop it from flying inwards, especially over there with 2 rubber stoppers, so there's a little bit of pressure. I might put a hydraulic ram on this as well, so once you lower it back down again, it will pull it in and sit naturally where it needs to. I keep debating whether to change that handle for something different, but I don't know. What's your opinion on this, guys? Obviously I need to straighten it out a bit better, and I've got a bit of re-welding to do. We've also got a piece of this trim to make in the shed and run along the bottom, and then that locker is done, apart from the removal of all of this stuff, which we'll do when it's dry, because that'll make an awful mess if I try and remove it now. We've also got to finish off the alley work in there, which I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. We're definitely going to run a piece here. Originally it was going to go on there, as you recall me saying, but this went wrong. It went too far in. That should have come level with that, but you know what I mean. And I've got to put some reinforcement in that, because that on its own isn't strong enough, but it's good enough. I don't know if that's going to come apart when we're going along. I guess we'll find out, won't we? If it does, we'll just have to do a rethink. That's as simple as that, really. So there you go. We've just got to fill this in, which I'll do another day. I think we're going to call this video a day. I've had enough. I'm sweating my whatsits off here. I do need to undo the hinges on this side and build some plates. 2 reasons is because I copped up the holes. Second reason is it's not sitting flush with the body, and I need this lip further in because water's getting in there. Once I've sorted that out, that one will be done as well. Then we've got to get some more paint, put some paint on that one. Finish the black off before winter sets in, because that's what stopped me last year. We started getting cold weather and this stuff was not drying. You can see the streaky lines up there. That's where it ran. Well, it didn't rain, it was just condensation. Did not dry. So we need to get that finished off. But I'm actually thinking about getting some black bed liner and running that with a roller or a paintbrush over the top of what I've already done. We've got to do some touching up around here as well, because I've got silver paint splashed on it. We need to do a power wash. So that's it. The last video I did, I'm deleting. I don't see the point in it, because that's just me rattling on about my dog again. But for those of you who have just joined us and haven't watched them all, I had to put my whole station down, which was a bit of a sad week. So the last couple of weeks have been really horrible. So yeah, we'll see you in a little while. Bye bye.